everyone, welcome back to another 1v1 battle. This is going to be me playing as Chaos versus the Dwarves. I wanted to play with Big Bird here because I don't really use him that often, so I was just making lists and I was like, oh man, you know, I always forget this is a character in this game, and he's not bad at all, really. I just forget about him. So I'm going to be bringing Big Bird and basically an anti-dwarf army here. We have 3 Chaos Marauders with great weapons, 2 on this flank, 1 on this flank. They are being supported by the Aspiring Champions, which are going to give them some additional leadership. In the middle, we have 4 Chaos Warriors with great weapons, and then a Hell Cannon over here. We have a Forsaken over here, which its duty is to shut down Dragonback Slayers, which my opponent did bring. And then we have a Chaos Knight with Lances, and then 2 Chaos Puppies over here to try and destroy their backline. So the idea of Forsaken, take out their Slayers, and then the Cav and the Puppies take out any range. So that's my plan anyway. The Hell Cannon is a very risky bring against the Dwarves because their cannons can destroy it really quickly. But my opponent didn't bring any cannons. They did bring a Skyhammer Gyro Bomber, which... props to you. I never see people bring this, and it's not that bad. You just have to have a lot of micro to have a lot of use out of it. But another weakness to the Hell Cannon would be Gyro Bombers with Brimstone Guns. The Gyrocopters with Brimstone Guns. The Gyro Bomber is not really that big of a threat to Hell Cannon, so I felt pretty comfortable just moving my army up. So I'm going to be using the Hell Cannon and sniping with it. At least I'm going to be trying to as my army moves across the battlefield. Anyway, for the Dwarf army, we have the Dragon Fire Pass Warriors, 2 Dwarf Warriors, the Grumbling Guard, Thorgrim Grudge Bearer, a Runesmith, the Ekrund Miners, and 2 additional Miners with Blasting Charges, which... again, props to you bringing units that people don't normally bring. I like the Ekrund Miners, but I'm crazy. Uthar's Raiders, which are pretty solid. We also have the Goblobber and another Grudge Thrower and the Dragonback Slayers over there. So that's going to be the Dwarf army. And again, you can get a lot of work done with the Gyro Bomber with this one specifically because its bombs do tons of damage to units that are kind of grouped up. So like even right here, if it hit it right, it could do a lot of damage to the Grudge Warriors. Right here, my army is not really moving up because I gave them a move order, but now I'm I think sniping with a Hell Cannon at this point. Maybe I just fired it, or maybe that's me sniping. I can't remember. That's probably me. I think that's... maybe that's not me. Is that me? That could be just the Hell Cannon. I think that was just the Hell Cannon. That's me, because I'm going way up in the air. Yeah. So, this is me piloting the shots as my army is getting torn up by the Grudge Throwers. I gave a move order to our Chaos Puppies to be out here. And then moving the Chaos Knights up here, and then I'm going to give another move order between shots with the Hell Cannon to try and advance on the Dwarven army, who has now put their Dragonfire Pass Warriors in the front with the Grumbling Guard behind them, and they are pulling back their Dwarf Warriors to protect their flanks against the Chaos Puppies and the Knights, I'm assuming. And so I'm just trying to kill the Grumbling Guard. I think that shot was probably from the Hell Cannon itself, not me, because I'm trying to aim at these guys because I know how strong they are. They are good melee combatants, but the thing is they're also going to be buffing the entire army with Vigor, so their stamina will not be lost until these guys are dead. And as long as they have a single model alive in the AoE around that model, it's going to be generating that buff. So you really need to kill these bastards. But yeah, in the meantime, I'm just using my sniping skills, or lack thereof. I think that's a normal shot. I'll be coming in behind it. And I'm just ignoring the Gyro Bomber right now, especially because it's in melee, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. You would probably be better off just shooting the Hell Cannon because it does do armor-piercing bullets. But they decided to opt in to go into melee. There's my shot. I'm going really high again. I'm trying to hit these guys. I don't use the Hell Cannon much, but I figured it's a flat map, very large map. It's pretty easy to move up an army. I'm like, this is the map to use to snipe with the Hell Cannon. I don't even remember if I hit. I think I don't. I think I went too far up in my angle, so I didn't have enough distance, and I kept messing that up. And right now, my Knights and my Chaos Puppies are just getting into position to take out their Uthar Raiders, which I now see, because my army's now getting into range where they're going to be a problem. So we're going to do a maneuver around the Dwarf Warriors. Going to go bloop, and then bloop. Yep. We're going to get in there with the Chaos Puppies. Then we're going to charge the Dwarf Warriors with our Chaos Knights. But you're going to see the Dragonback Slayers going to respond. That's why we have the Forsaken right behind the Chaos Knights. So I'm going to be pulling the Chaos Knights out here. You can see me going like this. And then we're going to throw in the Forsaken here to try and tie down the Dragonback Slayers to free up my, well, basically my backline destruction force, which is going to be the Knights and these Puppies. Meanwhile, the front line is going to be meeting up with the Grumbling Guard. Ooh, looks like they pulled out at the last moment. So they're actually going to get rear charge there. I did not notice that in the actual battle because I was microing my back forces here. We're going to get these Marauder, Chaos Knight, and the Aspiring Champions assignment to the right flank. We're going to have some Marauders over here on the left, backed up again by the Aspiring Champions. Sartorial or Big Bird was back here because I have him on a different control group and I was shooting with the Kale Cannon still. So I'm moving him up. I'm doing a debuff on the enemy army. The transportation of lead to lower the weapon damage and melee attack to practically 0. So they're really not doing much DPS currently as that debuff is on. It's one of the best skills that the Lore of Metal has. I would say one of the 2 best skills. One of the 2 only useful skills. Sartorial, again, Big Bird is very good champion or hero because nothing can really stop him. He's kind of like the puppies for the vampire counts or like Gorbals. It's really easy for him to just kind of plow the units. So what you do with him is that you will, like, you're going to see me kind of move over here, I think, and move over here. I'm trying to spread my terror of Sartorial because he generates terror, and it's really easy to get him into places like this. So now we're going to hit these guys with terror. That's what the skull and crossbow means. They're terrified, so now they're going to be running. And so you really want to use Sartorial as a kind of a mobile terror device. And he's so fast and so easy to dislodge himself from enemy units, so he can easily run or outrun most other enemies, especially dwarves. So it's really hard to tie him down. He also has a very high missile resistance. He has some decent magic resistance, so he is a really capable hero, especially a terror bomb unit. So right now I think I'm going into the Uthar Raiders, and you can see we're terrifying them, and now we're going to the left flank to terrify this, although they already broke before we got the terror there. The Gyro Bomber right now I think is bombed a couple times into my Chaos Warriors, I think. But right now it's shooting into the backs of our Chaos Warriors. I'm using my Chaos Puppies to chase down routing units, or we'll be here shortly. And now we are just collapsing in on Thorkin Grudgebearer, the Runesmith. We have destroyed the Grudge Throwers. We're destroying the Dragonback Slayers still. And my Knights are now out here chasing off routing units and getting free kills practically. And once our line of Marauders and Knights got in there, and since we destroyed their backline and tied down the Dragonback Slayers with the Forsaken, it was a hard fight. Like, this army was built to kill dwarves. Like, I'm not going to try to hide it like, oh, I just happened to build this army that had all armor crits. No, I built this army to murder dwarves. And it is, it's going to work. Spoiler alert, we're going to win this one. I know it's hard to tell. I didn't really get to use Big Bird too much. But yeah, he is very good against, I don't know, anybody who's susceptible to terror, which would be a lot of the armies. Empire, Greenskins, unless they go like Black Orcs. Dwarves to a lesser extent, but they can still be terrified. Yeah, out here you can see my Chaos Puppies are continually, and my Knights are continuing to destroy their routing units and not letting them come back and come back to the fight. And my other puppies are over here because puppies are really good at destroying routing units. The Chaos Knights you usually kind of want to keep in the fight, but they took a lot of damage. I did cycle charge them only, I think, twice in this battle. I was micromanaging. I think I got another shot in with the Hell Cannon after the army met the Dwarf army, and then I was just microing Sartorial, or aka Big Bird, across the battlefield to try and spread his terror to all of the lovely Dowie that were standing in our way. Thorgrim Grudgebearer you saw, or you probably saw there, was chasing Sartorial. Thorgrim really has no chance to catch Sartorial if you're micromanaging him, so that's why I was also just bouncing back and forth and you see him following me. But yeah, so anyway, good game to my opponent here. Let's take a look at the kill screen. Big Bird netted 34 kills, and again, his debuff is really good. Transmutation of lead can be good, kinda. Besides that though, the Metal of Lore is still somewhat lacking. But when Marauders are backed up by high leadership, or the leadership of the aspiring champions, and especially when Big Bird's around them, they can do a lot of work against basic Dwarf Warriors, even though Dwarf Warriors are really strong. But they can totally destroy Miners, which I think most of my Marauders were fighting there at that point. Forsaken did really well at holding back the Dragonback Slayers, allowing my Knights to do rear charges on, I think, Dwarf Warriors, I think is what I had them charge in. The Chaos Warriors' great weapons are just always a solid choice to pick against the Dwarf army, as long as you can shut down the range, and which we did. We threw in our puppies to keep the Uthar's Raiders from firing. Against Chaos, I would probably bring slightly more armor-piercing backline units, like at least one more Ranger with great weapons would just be my suggestion. And not just one, because with two, you can decimate a unit, or destroy a unit really quickly. Chaos Puppies did a really good job, and actually the Hell Cannon only got 28 kills, so it kind of didn't pull its weight, but that's okay. And then the Chaos Knights kind of did okay with 67. Thorgrim Grudgebearer, 23 kills is definitely not bad. 31 is pretty good there. The Miners, again, they just kind of got shut down there by the massive amount of Marauders that were hacking into them. Miners can't really do well against the Marauders with great weapons. They trade really well into Miners. Dwarf Warriors, kind of same thing. The Ekron Miners got a little bit better. And let's see, Dragonback Slayers got 56 kills. Most of that was against my Forsaken, which I was totally cool with. And then the Uthar Raiders got shut down by the puppies. Goblobber 49 kills in the short time it was firing was really good. And the Skyhammer Gyro Bomber still netted 85. We'll watch the cinematic view. I'll try to keep an eye on that because I didn't notice if it dropped too many bombs. But this thing, in theory, could probably rack up closer to 200 if it gets a lot of good bomb runs when the armies meet. Because, you know, your forces will kind of collapse and bunch up. And that's a perfect time to just bomb the fuck out of them. I'm not sure if my opponent did that, but that's what you should do with the Gyro Bomber. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the battle, everybody. Let's take a look at a cinematic view. Ooh. Goblobber is so accurate. It's a good artillery piece. And it's funny. That one wasn't as great. Close. These views do look pretty cool. I don't really look at the Uthar Raiders up close that often. Is that what they're called? Uthar? Yeah, Ulthar. Honestly, it's not really a unit that I use that often. Their debuff is awesome. No doubt about it. But I just used to go with the basic Rangers. That's my another missed shot. I am an artillery commander. Proven. I never get tired of seeing those night goblins. Woo! Okay, that got a little close to our own forces there. Skulls for the Skull Throne. Ooh! I think my opponent was a little too occupied with my Chaos Knights and didn't notice the puppies until a little too late, which is understandable. I would be more focused on Knights as well. They can be scary. And the thing is here, instead of going like all Chaos Warriors, I substituted some of them out for the Marauders with great weapons instead, and just kind of put Aspiring Champions with them, so we just had a lot of numbers. Because a lot of Dwarf armies are still kind of smaller, like elite armies, but I think honestly, like the Horde Dwarf armies are much scarier considering how good basic Dwarf Warriors are. Like, I really think the Horde armies for Dwarves are much better than a smaller elite force. I waited to charge in my second Chaos Puppy because I was waiting for the first one to rout before I charged in the second one because I didn't want them to both rout at the same time. I'm just going to push Thorgrim. I'm not trying to attack Thorgrim here. I think I was trying to give him move orders. But this is just so much armor piercing for a Dwarf to take care of. Big Bird is pretty cool.
Magic is chaos.
Forsaken did a pretty good job at shutting down those Dragonback Slayers for the most part. Oh, I forgot to look and see if that thing dropped bombs. Damn it. Considering how many kills it got, it at least dropped one.
Magic is chaos.
Big Bird! And now Thorgrim stands alone. And I guess, yeah, that's when the enemy left. Their runesmith was buried over here and I think was about to fall. Where are you? There you are. Yeah, Big Bird was coming over to say hi. So thanks again for watching, everybody. I will see you all in the next battle. Take care.